guys, good morning. So happy Saturday. um, so I have some goodies to show people. I have some recipes to give you guys, and gotta tell you about a freaky dream with Anthony Bourdain. Like weird, not weird, but weird. But anyway, so yeah, um, can't be on super long today, so I'm thinking like maybe max an hour. Christina, well, long time no see. So I had just seen actually Christina over at the Hermit's Cave with Simon. I was so glad I was able to catch at least some of his live chat because obviously time difference. So I was up a little earlier this morning and I was like going around doing stuff and oh shoot, I need to show you guys my earrings that I made. Oh, Andrea's here. What's up? so um so yeah, New Age Lunatic, what's up, girl? So yes, lots of goodies, lots of talk, but probably no more than an hour, just because we're going to be going up to, I say we, not the royal we, but we as in my dude and we're going to be going up to, I believe it's Oceanside, which is like North County, San Diego, North County. And we're meeting up with his uncle, his dad, his older brother, and his sister-in-law, his cousin, and his cousin's wife, because they're gonna be going over the family trust for his other cousin that passed away the day after Christmas this past year. Um, since she didn't have any kids, she divvied up her inheritance amongst those people that will be present, and myself included. So I've been thinking about her a lot lately because she was so awesome. She was Miss Colorado back in the day. They actually like unearthed her sequence dress that she wore to the governor's ball back in 1996 for like the Miss Colorado Miss America's like reunion. And her talent at like the Miss America thing, was singing, and she was a singing professor. Well, it's not a singing professor, but like the in charge of the vocals in the theater department over at one of the community colleges in Texas. And she did like all sorts of stuff on Broadway. Like she was Cinderella on Broadway. There's like pictures of her hanging out with like rubbing elbows with like Anthony Peck, or sorry, Gregory Peck. And I'm just like, what? Like I knew she was like this cool person, but when she passed and everybody's like going through all these pictures and like I'm like learning all this other stuff about her, I was like, dude, she was like freaking like totally awesome. And so yeah, she just had, yeah, she's and she would burst out into song like everywhere. Andrea said, how super cool is that? Yes, like when she'd come into town from Texas, and we'd all go out to dinner and stuff like that, and we go to Old Town Mex, which is a really like popular local spot. Well, also, I mean, tourists go there too, but it's in Old Town San Diego. And, the mariachis come around and they're like, oh, they're playing the music and stuff. And all of a sudden she'd go like, oh, she's just like bursting out into song, and she like just didn't care. Like she didn't give any F's to like anything. She was just like, if you feel like singing, she's like, burst out into song and F everybody else. She goes, people who look at you sideways, they're just jealous. Like, she was always like, dress how you want to dress, like, do your hair how you want to do your hair. Like, she's all, don't let other people's opinions or what they say about you change who you are. She was like, always be you. Like, that was always like her message to me, like, all the time. And then when we last saw her, which was in December, she wanted to have like one last family get together because she knew it was gonna be, her battle with cancer was gonna be over soon. And so she was talking to me, and she was kind of weak at that point, so I was like scooting her up to the table and accidentally like squished her boobs, like when I pushed her to the table. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's okay, they're fake anyway. I know you're probably like thinking, man, this old lady's got some good knockers. She's like, but they're fake, sweetheart. And she's like, after my first round of breast cancer, I was like, take them off and give me something better. And I was like, oh my. And she was like, who cares? Whatever, it's your body. Like, you do what you want. And she was like, honey, if you're needing some of those, she was like, just go do it. Like, it's really not a big deal. Like, she's just, it's really not. It's your body. She's like, who freaking cares? So it was kind of cool to, chit chat with her for a bunch of hours, even though she was really tired that last time. So yeah. Well, anyway, so I'm part of that small inheritance that she was kind of just like, and then they were talking about, listing off the names of the people in the inheritance. I was like, me? Like, why? And they were like, well, because Kathy loved you. Like, you guys were, like, you sang together. Like, before we left, her and I were singing We Are Family. Like, we had our arms around each other, and we're just, like, in the middle of a restaurant, and, like, we didn't care. I mean, there was people staring at us, and I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm with Kathy. She's the bomb diggity. We are family. We were just like rocking out. It was awesome. So yes, that's what we are doing later today. And yeah, so I want to share some goodies. Every summer I do my one day where I have like a little shopping spree of like, yes, it's summer, and then I'm not really blown cash after that. So I had my one, like, did my day of splurge yesterday. I went to Urban Outfitters, got like a couple of things because, Urban Outfitters is expensive. So I went to the sale section and I got this top in the sale section. It was $19. I was like, yay. I got a mug for my boyfriend. It's downstairs, but it's a little like sloth. It looks like the sloth is like hugging the tea, and it's so cute. And I'm like, how could you be upset or sad when you have a happy sloth looking at you while you drink your tea? And so I have to wash that, of course, first before we can drink out of it. So, and then I went to Sephora, and I go to Sephora maybe once every few years because, I mean, obviously, I wear so much makeup. I wear lipstick, and that's probably about it. And every once in a while, I get some wild, crazy makeup hair up my butt, and I'm like, I just want to do a face full of makeup. And I try really hard, but I'm just not talented in the makeup department. And I try watching all the YouTube videos on like how to, but I did need new brushes because the brushes that I had were from 2003, my makeup brushes, because I had put a little bit of money that I had together back in college when I was graduating from college, and I bought makeup brushes, and I was like, yes. And so I've had them for a long time, and they're really old now. So it was time for new ones, and the ones I found at Sephora were on sale. And look what I got! They're Little Mermaid tails. I was like, oh, maybe this will make makeup more fun or something. Like, I'll want to do it more. But it's like, and it's so soft. I was like, ooh, makeup brushes are soft. Like, yeah. So they're like, I'm gonna be playing with like little Ariel mermaid tails while I try to do makeup. So maybe before we leave to go up to Oceanside, I'll actually try doing something like, I don't like wearing foundation because I like my skin. So I usually just put like blush. Like, if I'm gonna do myself up, it's gonna be my lipstick, of course, blush, mascara, and a little bit of eyeshadow. And I don't think I usually mess with eyeliner, but sometimes if the mood strikes me, so I'm actually going to try to do something, yes, with my new brushes. And since the eyeshadow I have, thank you, New Age Lunatic, she says I have amazing skin. Well, I try to take good care of it. I only got one skin here. um, Andrea says you'll end up poking yourself in the eye because you'll be so distracted by the glitzy tails. I know. I'm gonna be like, ooh, ah! Eyeshadow palettes that I have was my mother's from the freaking 80s. It's blue eyeshadow, and I thought it was the coolest, like, blue and silver eyeshadows, that I've kept it and I use it sometimes. It hasn't really gone bad, I don't think. I don't think it smells funny. I don't really know what expiration is on makeup. Unless it smells funky, which a couple have, I've thrown them out. I'm like, that means bad, I think. Um, so I have this blue eyeshadow from the 80s, and I can't throw it out because it's so cool. So it was time for a new makeup palette. I got this from Too Faced, and it actually smells like chocolate because it's like the colors are infused with cocoa powder. Well, now you guys get to see the the camera. Ah! Yeah, but I love bright colors too, by the way. So I love glitteries and golds and pinks and purples and New Age Lunatic said, I love blue eyeshadow and blue mascara. It's so rad. Oh, yes. I remember in high school, like stealing my mom's blue, like, mascara. And she had purple mascara too. And I'd be like, and I would take it to school because I wasn't allowed to wear makeup, which is probably why I'm so bad at makeup now. My mom, like, didn't ever want me to grow up. So she was like, no, you're naturally pretty. You don't need makeup. And I was like, and all my friends were always like, do, 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 and they'd be all like, and I was like, I wanted to do that too. I wanted to be in, like, the girl makeup club, and I was like, never in that club. um, it smells like chocolate, so, oh, it smells so good. And it reminds me of Willy Wonka, so, yay. New Age Genetics, I love that. Too Faced are so good for makeup. We don't have Sephora. It's a good job because I'd be there every week. I love walking around Sephora. Like, I like how bright and colorful, and I like just like it's like walking into a candy store. Like, I like looking at all this stuff. I don't know how to utilize all the beautiful tools that I see there, and I wish that I was, you know, a facial artist where I could, you know, paint all this wonderful stuff. You know, you'd see people getting their makeovers in the chairs, and I was like, ah, like, I wish I could do that. Like, I wish that could be one of my talents, but it is not. But I'm gonna try. We're gonna try, people. Oh, and I picked up a squishy for one of my friends because I have, like, that little cat squishy, and one of my friends said how much she really liked it, so I bought her a squishy, and whatever, I bought myself a squishy, and it smells like cupcakes. I was like, oh, this is so fun. It's so squishy. Hence the name. So yeah, I had this on my nightstand this morning, and I was like, squishy. So, big child alert here. And so I went to the gem fair yesterday too. I'm looking at the things that I got. Most of the stuff I got was for jewelry making, so it's just like jewelry making supplies, and the last, like the guru bead and the things that I needed to finish up my mala necklace. So after the whole thing in Oceanside, I'm coming back home to make my mala necklace. So I'll make sure to, like, post it on Instagram or something. New Age Lunatic said, I need to get a squishy. It's too much fun. I have FOMO for squishies. New Age Lunatic. Okay, I will have to show you the earrings that I made this morning too, because I was like, I felt like I had to make something. Oh, and by the way, I didn't make these this morning, but I made these like last year, and so this is Amazonite and pink jade, and it's the same pink jade as my bracelet that I made here. I didn't make the turquoise one. This was my boyfriend's mother's, and actually this was my boyfriend's mother's too. So, some reason every time we're going to get together with her family, I feel like wearing her jewelry. Okay, so this first thing It's not actually a solid piece of quartz. It's a bunch of quartz that's man-made, like been put together to look the way it does. But I didn't care. Like, it's pretty. And while I was buying it, some girls like, you know, that's not like a real quartz. And I was like, yeah, I know. But it's pretty. So anyway, I got this. And I know it's not a full solid piece of quartz. I don't care. It's pretty. And it looks like fire to me. And I've been feeling that fire, like root chakra energy. I usually don't go for a lot of red stones, but I've been wanting like red everything. Um, I mean, see, you could see there's like little bubbles in there. I don't care. I like the bubbles. It looks like bubble crystals. um, so yeah, that is on my altar and almost looks like Mars, like Mars in a storm, you know. Um, so yes, this was pretty cool, and of course it was pretty cheap. I got it from the last the last booth is always the same booth at the gem fair, and there's like a few booths that they're the same booths I always go to, so they always recognize me and they're like, "Oh, you're back," and I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, I got this from them, and I got more holders for my spheres. From one of my other booths that I like to go to. I picked up more chrysocolla because um, that's one of my favorite stones in the whole world, and it's got a little bit of malachite in it as well. Um, but yeah, my favorite stone in the whole world is hemimorphite. Under hemimorphite is chrysocolla. Under chrysocolla is amazonite. And then, I don't know, I guess like Larimar and turquoise and stuff like that. But I can't get me enough chrysocolla. Hemimorphite, kind of expensive. This, not really expensive. So I obviously have a lot more chrysocolla. um, yeah. And I loved when we went to Tombstone, Arizona, and we went down below into the mines, and they have to shine flashlights because there's no obviously natural light down there. And he says, and the tour guide of the mines was like, "Can anybody tell me what this bluish greenish substance is at the bottom of this mine?" And I was like, "Oh my God, is that chrysocolla?" Because it was literally the whole floor. And I was like, oh, and he's like, "Yeah, it's chrysocolla." And he says, because at one point, this was the bottom of the ocean here in the desert, you know, millions of years ago. And he says, and these are deposits that would be at the bottom of the ocean. He says, which is why it's considered like ocean stone or something like that. But he says, yeah, it's chrysocolla. And I was like, ah. So yeah, I love me some chrysocolla. And I also picked up a blue opal. It's a piece of polished blue opal. I ended up picking up a lot of gifts for other people yesterday too. So I did a haul video, which I'll put up on Monday, that showed everything I got, but I didn't mention who was getting gifts or which ones were gifts. I was like, you might be getting a gift from me and you don't know what it is. So it's okay to make this haul video because you don't know what's what. So yes, I got this blue opal, and they were like, oh, that's just a piece of pyrite. So they just like threw it in for whatever, a couple of dollars. But it's, yeah, beautiful, almost square piece of pyrite, very cubish, you know, in its natural format. And I thought that was fancy. So these are on the altar right now. Well, I mean, I took them off for the video, or the live chat. And I don't own any, like, I work with dragon energy, but I don't own anything like dragons. Like, so I picked up this guy, and he is made out of amazonite. Like I said, my third favorite stone. And I loved all the, you know, other minerals and things that are in there, and I thought that was so cool. So I haven't like had time yet to sit with this guy and kind of figure out like how best to like work with him, or if it's a her, and like what, you know, is it male energy, feminine energy, like what could be the name. Christina said she got a salt lamp finally. Ooh, those are really good. We have one in the bedroom, and I originally got it when our old cat Presley was sick, and I was trying everything I could to like make him feel good. And Yeah, I mean the lamp has such a nice glow, and it's just on all the time because it really doesn't use any wattage. Um, so yeah, it's just always on, and so at night it has that nice like golden glow or like orangey glow in the bedroom, and it's just like really soothing, and you're just like, it just makes the bedroom seem really peaceful. Um, let's see, New Age Lunatic said chrysoprase. I like it a lot too. It's such a lovely minty green. Ooh, yes, chrysoprase and gem silica. They're the my two. Yeah, I like those two. But chrysoprase, it's like I want to eat it. Because I love like mint, and my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. It reminds me of mint chocolate chip ice cream, and I'm always like, if only I could eat stones. Like, there's so many stones I would want to eat, and I would think that they would taste like something. um, yes. So anyway, my dragon. Um, oh, recipes. Okay, so I made my very first rose water from my roses in my garden. New Age Lunatic said granierite is a new stone I just bought. It has amazing green color. Ooh, granierite. I'm going to have to, when I watch the playback and go back into the comments, I'm gonna look that up. Granierite. I will look that up because I like green, blue and green stones, but as of late, red too. Christina said, I'm so impulsive. I'm afraid to start collecting crystals. My house is already full of stuff. um, I I'm pretty good now with my like impulsive behaviors, because I'll sit on things for like a couple of days, and if I still really want it in a couple of days, then that's when I go back and get it. Um, because otherwise, like my deck collecting was like getting out of control. So I actually went through a lot of my decks, and there is a ginormous stack of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 31 of 32 decks that I'm gonna give to somebody. I told my friend Steph, who's visiting from Belgium, July 25th. So I was kind of bummed she won't be here in time for the meetup, which is July 21st and 22nd. And if you would like more details, head over to www.kittensweightsandtarot.com. Click on events and itinerary and look at all the good stuff we're going to be doing for those 2 days. And it's absolutely free, although donations are welcome. So she was kind of bummed she was going to miss that too, but she's going to be here after that. And I told her, I'm going to hold on to all my decks that I'm getting rid of. You take whatever you want back to Belgium, and then the rest I'll just like, I don't know, gift somebody or gift it on my channel or trade, or I don't know. I don't even think I want to bother with selling them. I'll just trade them, gift them, something. Like trade them for more crystals, I think, because I think I'm all good on decks. Sherry Bug, what's up, girl? um, no, Genetic said it's okay to have a house full of crystals. You can stash them anywhere. Yes, they're art. Other crystals are beautiful pieces. They're only raising the vibration of your home. It's totally okay. Just say you're gridding your house, like everywhere, gridding it everywhere. um, so yes. So anyway, I made some rose water, and I had to put a preservative in it. I used witch hazel as a preservative. It's the same preservative that I use for my sprays. I use witch hazel to kind of stabilize it, so that it'll still be good by the time Steph comes, I think. But if not, I have a lot of roses that are blooming. I can just whip up some more now that I know how. So anyway, this is my rose water. It literally turned red. I was like, all the color like drained out of my red roses, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so yeah, I have my little label on there. But okay, for the rose water, I took 2 of my giant red roses, and I took 8 of my white roses, and then I actually for the healing properties I included 6 rose hips, and then I put that into distilled water, so kind of water that doesn't really boil until you put the flowers in, then it's contaminated, so it'll boil. I kind of got it up to a boil, took the flowers, the saucepan full of distilled water and flowers. And I put, by the way, 1 cup of, no wait, I used 2 cups. 2 cups of distilled water. Um, and then I put those flowers, the flower petals, in there. And then I covered it, took it off the heat, and just let it sit there and steam, you know, after it had already been brought up to a boil. So it just like steamed for 30 minutes. And then when I opened up the lid, it was so weird. All the flower petals were almost clear because the white and the red had been drained out of them and the water was literally this color. I was like, oh, it does turn that color. I was like, ooh. And so then I first took a food strainer, like the mesh wire food strainer, and I put it over a bowl, um, poured out the contents so it would catch most everything, but I wanted to double strain it so there would be absolutely no like pieces of flour or rose hip or anything in the water. So I took out cheesecloth and then I strained it again. So then it was absolutely free of any contaminants. And then I put in a 1/4 teaspoon of vitamin E oil, also as a stabilizer, but also good for skin. And I put in a 1/4 teaspoon of jojoba oil. So this was just like me, just like being creative. So I just like put those 2 things in. I mean, this has been in the refrigerator, but if you're going to use it up fast, obviously you wouldn't put it in the refrigerator. And if you do put it in the fridge, those 2 oils are going to almost become a solid. So if it's out, they're not solid at room temperature, so you just shake it up and you can get all that oily goodness too. I put in a tablespoon of witch hazel, again to stabilize it, and then that should make it last for about a month and a half. So that is how I made my rose water, and it smells awesome. So I gave a bottle of my rose water to my Chinese mom, Dr. Wang, slash my acupuncturist. I gave a bottle to my friend Charmaine that visited yesterday, as well as some crystals that I bought her, and some things that I made her. I gave her my salve too, and stuff like that. And then, oh, and I gave her one of my big, beautiful, blooming red roses from the garden. I was like, this one just feels magical, and I think you should take it home. So I cut her off one of my flowers. And then the rest I'm keeping for when Steph comes, so that I can make her a bottle or a couple of bottles. She could take it back to Belgium. Okay, next thing that I made, which I've been taking because I was sick for like 3 days with like sore throat and sinus stuff, but I'm all good now. And I was taking this 3 times a day. Is I made elderberry syrup. So it's a little top there. I was so stoked. This tastes so good. My boyfriend would not take it. Even though he was sick, he was like, no, I'll just take medicine or I'll just man up. And he was like, that's gross. It tastes like medicine. I'm like, oh, it's because it is medicine. Like, and then with the, I had like 2 tablespoons of this leftover that wouldn't fit in the jar. So I used that to put that into my dark chocolates that I was making. And I have like little Hello Kitty head molds. So yeah, I have little Hello Kitty heads that are like super dark, like almost 90% chocolate cocoa. And it has the elderberry syrup in it, so that they were like kind of healthy, you know. So and since my throat did hurt, I would kind of like suck on the little chocolates, and I could taste the elderberry in there, so it was actually really soothing for my throat. So they were like chocolates for sicky people. And I think I have 2 chocolates left in the fridge, so I don't know, maybe later I'll show you guys my little Hello Kitty chocolates. But anyway, so for this I took a 1/2 cup of elderberry, a cinnamon stick, a tablespoon of fresh ginger, a 1/2 tablespoon of cloves. I just had like the powdered cloves. And I put that into my saucepan. I put in 2 cups of water. I covered it, brought it to a boil. And then once it came to a boil, I then set it down to its lowest setting on my stove, the fire. And I let it simmer for 20 to 30 minutes. Then I strained it, and I stirred in 1 cup of the wild local honey here in San Diego. What would have made it even better is if I would have bought my friend's honey. Like, she has like she calls her place the Whalen family farm, because they have dogs, they have cats, they have chickens, they have a goat, they have pigs, um, and they have their own like honey thing. They've been making like jars of honey, and so like for her birthday, her husband bought her a bee suit, and she was like, "True love when your hubby buys you a bee suit." And it's totally legal in our area because we're zoned for animals and things like that. You just can't have like large animals like, well, certain areas can have like cows and horses, but I think we're zoned for like one goat, no more than 10 chickens, and like, you know, like it gives you a number. But anyway, I digress. She has really good honey, and probably that would have been better because it's even more local. It's like Santee local. Anyway, and then once I had it all mixed in, I refrigerate it and put it in this sealed jar, and it's good for 2 weeks at least. Andrea said, oops, sorry, wrong finger. She said, gotta go. Loved catching some of you today. Enjoy your family time. Thank you very much. And hopefully you guys like, you know, enjoy these recipes, and I will take some more of this later. It's also good, I just like taking it. But anyway, this was my my notes I was reading off of. Oh, by the way, this is our old cat Presley. He was such a handsome boy. He was a lot bigger than Wally. But yeah, Presley T. Selby was his name. The T stood for trouble. And that's what we put on his, I made a little plaque for his grave. And we have like a tree wheel, you know, that's been sliced, a piece of tree. So that's on top of his grave, so like no animal would try to dig him up or anything. So that's on top of where he's buried, and then I made a little plaque and it says Presley T. Selby. Yes, so he's 4 years ago on the 28th of this month will be since we lost our little dude. But on the back, this was my recipe for the chocolates if you wanted it. It was 4 ounces of super dark chocolate. I used like I think it was like 89% Colombian dark chocolate, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, 2 tablespoons of that elderberry syrup, and then I just like, you know, mixed it around because I have a little fondue making thing. So I was like mixing it around. And then once you put in the syrup, it really thickens the chocolate. So it starts getting kind of funky. And that's when I added 1 more tablespoon of coconut oil, and it made it really nice and smooth. But it kind of melts at room temperature, which is why they're kept in the fridge. And Sherry Bug said, sweet kitty. Yes, he was. He was like, he really had this like big personality. Like, he didn't just like everybody right off the bat. Like, Wally's like, hello, love me, like pick me up. You know, Presley was like, you I have to get to know you. He wasn't scared or anything. He'd be really watchful of new people that would come in the house. He would like watch them, sniff them out, and he'd, you know, want to make sure that the people coming into his home were like good for me and Brian. So he was very discerning of people, and then if he deemed you okay, then he was like, oh yeah, love me and I'll rub on you and things like that. But he was super smart too. I remember when I used to use my cell phone as my alarm clock, and I would keep it on the nightstand. And one morning we had a holiday, so I didn't have work that day. There was no school. And so Presley was worried. He thought that I was going to be late for school. And so he's jumping on me, he's meowing in my face, and he's like, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, Presley, it's a holiday. He's like, rah, 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 rah. And they tried sticking his paw in my mouth. I'm like, I'm like, Presley, it's a holiday. Christina said my dog Sadie freezes and stares at other dogs, then she warms up. Yes. Very discerning. And then he like put his 2 paws on my windpipe, and I was like, ugh, ugh. And I'm like, Presley, there's no school today. And he's like getting angry. He's like, rah, rah, rah. He goes over to the nightstand. He knocks the cell phone off the nightstand, you know, and then I'm like, Presley, like, shh, go back to sleep. Like, mommy's trying to sleep. And so then he huffs. He gets off the bed, like he goes, he gets off the bed. And I had I used to have this like book bag that I kept all my school crap in, and he grabbed it with his teeth and he started dragging my book bag to the bed to get me to go to work. And this is a cat, by the way. And I was like, Presley, no, no school, no work today. And so he was just like, well, fine, like you be late to work. I tried to get you up, but you didn't want to listen, so whatever. So he got back in the bed and he went to sleep. And he was just like, whatever, like you be late. Sherry Book said, wake up, puny human. Yes. Um, so yeah, he was such a smart boy. And it's like when he looked at you, it's like he was looking through you. Like it's like I don't know. He just had such a different energy. Like Wally, he's a sweetie. Like, you look at Wally and all you see is like, hearts. Like all you see is nothing but love and gentleness and kindness. And he would never, ever, ever try to hurt anyone, except maybe another cat. But, but he likes dogs and he likes, everybody else. He just doesn't like cats. Because I don't think he knows he's a cat. I'm like, shh, he's a puma. So but you look at Presley and it was like there was a being inside of him. Like it's like you knew that he knew exactly what you were thinking, and he would act accordingly. And it was like so interesting. So that's why it really broke our hearts and really hit home. When he passed here at home. It was, me and my boyfriend were surrounding him. My boyfriend's best friend happened to be in the neighborhood, and he had called, and I remember him saying, he's like, hey buddy, he goes, how's your cat doing? And Brian was like a mess. And I think that's the only time Brian's ever cried, like really like cried. Like his eyes will kind of get red sometimes, but he'll never cry. He never lets it out. But the moment he starts thinking about Presley, like the tears come, but he like fights it back, but yeah, he was a mess. I was a mess. And he was like, Presley, this is it, this is the day. And so we said he's fighting right now. And so Bobby's like, dude, I'm right by your house, I'm gonna come over right now. So his best friend came over to, like, obviously support him. And his best friend's like, do you want me to call the vet? I have my vet on speed dial. And we're like, yeah, sure. So the vet happened to be driving by our street, like, and he's a horse vet. Like, we don't have horses in our areas. It's like, it was very like Bobby just happened to be in the neighborhood. The vet just happened to be driving by. So the vet showed up, and he's a horse vet. He's a large animal vet. He doesn't really deal with like cats and dogs. But he had all of his equipment, and he came in and he was like, oh, he says, he wanted to start putting Presley through the process of giving him a comfortable departure. And Presley ended up not needing it. The first shot was just to relax him, and that's all Presley needed. And then he ended up passing on his own. But I was grateful that vet, who is so kind, came over. He didn't charge anything. He was just like, he wanted to help somebody out, and I'm grateful Bobby was there. Bobby helped Brian dig Presley's grave, and they dug it for 4 hours to get 4 feet into the ground, because we live on granite and quartz. So our ground is really, really hard. They broke 2 pickaxes because of the rock they kept running into. And so Bobby went home and got his jackhammer, came back, and the guys were out there jackhammering. For 4 hours, that's all I did, is I cuddled with Presley, because I couldn't let him go. And later, the vet sent us a letter to let us know that he had made a $10,000 contribution to the equine fund in Presley's honor. And he named it Presley. It was $10,000. Sun rising, hey. So yeah, and that was really sweet, because Presley's favorite toy was my Floppy horse. Like, he would cuddle Floppy, and so it's like horses and Presley always went together. So it was just this like really synchronistic, like, I don't know, thing, this sweet thing this guy would do. He took, it was his own money, and he donated it to that, the equine fund. I mean, obviously he's a vet too, but he donated that money, and it was considered Presley Selby's contribution. Um, so anyway, yeah. So I mean, obviously I've been thinking about Presley a lot lately, because his anniversary is coming up next week, and so yeah, I miss that little dude. He was, oh gosh. I wish I was doing YouTube, when he was alive. Like, you guys would have loved Presley. um, Sunrising says we need more people like him. Yes, he was a very, very kind man. And every once in a while, we get a letter from his office. Like, this man doesn't even, I mean, the first time he met us was at our house with our cat, and every now and then he sends us a little note, asking how we're doing. And it's been 4 years now, but he's always like, hey, he says, just want to let you know animals are doing great over here, and I just want to know how you guys are doing, and always just want to know that he says, he said that he thanked us for allowing him into our home, to be there for the passing of our sweet boy. And he said that really impacted him. He says he doesn't know why. He says, I've had to put down horses. I've watched people go hysterical. He says, I've watched people like lose their shit, over their animals. And he says, because animals are family, he says, it's no different than losing a human being. He says, like, they're special people too. And he says, but something about your cat, like, just, he says, I don't know. He goes, I had to really, like, I started thinking about my life and how could I be more giving and more loving. And he says, and so I've been doing a lot of my services for free. He says, I still obviously charge because I have to make a living as a vet. He says, but I've been doing more community work, more giving, because of the experience I had with your cat that day. And we're just like, whew, whew. So yeah, I miss Presley a lot. Whew, didn't mean to get all emotional on you guys this morning. Sherry Bug said, what a great legacy for Presley. Yes. Christina said, Presley touched people's lives. He did. Even if they came to our house once, everybody remembered Presley. Christina said she thinks it would be hard to be a vet. Yes. My friend Charmaine, who now is like the opera star, when she was like going through school, like for like vocal, what school did she go to? She was up in San Francisco. But her first job was working at a vet's office, and she's like, I figured, well, I love animals. I want to help animals. I want to help sick animals. And she was like, no, no, no. I lasted, she's like, a month, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. She was like, let me tell you that people who become vets, doctors, nurses, any sort of like care where people care for animals or they care for people, she saw, like, bless those people. She saw it takes a special kind of person to do that. And she saw I couldn't handle it. I was like, I was crying like too much. She was like, I can't do this. Sunrising said, I had a doggy who was with me for 14 years, and we considered her the other child in my family because I have no siblings. Animals have souls. She was a sister to me. I mean, absolutely. And in my opinion, I think it's pretty callous when people are like, oh, it was just your pet. Like, it was just a cat or just a dog. Because there was a couple of people that, when I was upset, they were like, oh, but it was just a cat. And it was like, how dare you? Would I say that about like somebody in your family? Oh, it was just your grandmother. Like, that's like, have a heart. To me, I'm like, I can't get along with that. Sherry Big says, I'm gonna be in my first opera in August, just the chorus, but yay, Verity's masked ball. Oh, high five. I mean, internet, high five. That is so awesome. Sunrising said, people who have experienced that have no idea. Absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, I don't wish anybody losing an animal or a human or anything, for that matter, but I just want people to have more compassion. to see something as beneath you, like animals are beneath me. No, they're not, you know, or plants or trees. Like I see everything as being on the same level. Everything has a soul. Maybe not everything could, you know, like talk to you in English or whatever your language is, like, you know, but that doesn't mean that they're not alive and they don't have souls. Like that berry tree, like that I made the video, I talked about my berry tree. Like I took the time to like be like, okay, tree, I need your help, and it did. It spoke, and so I was like, wow, like I'm seeing things a little bit differently now. Um, Sunrise said they just haven't had the connection with a living being who isn't human. Animals are purer than us. They give us unconditional love. Yes, they do teach us to be patient. They teach us to love. They teach us to be playful. Presley taught me to be more discerning. Presley taught me about boundaries. Wally teaches me to be more like my inner child, and to, you know, have fun and to be more, you know, because sometimes I'm a little too guarded, and Presley's all, or Wally's more like, oh, trust, you know, he just trusts everyone. And so I'm learning to be, you know, with both cats, Presley and Wally, you know, to have boundaries, but to not let my boundaries keep me from meeting new people and making friends with people that, you know, just to be open to people, you know, open to more experiences and things like that. So that's what both kitties helped me with. Sherry Bugs, that was such an interesting video. Yes, I was like, I think I need to make a video on this. I need to talk about the berry tree. Yeah, I have never had an experience like that with a plant before. That was like really cool. Um, Sunrise said, you're smiley. um, yeah, I mean, because I talk to my roses, obviously, and I always consider my roses to be very magical, and I'm always talking to them and telling them how pretty they are. And even when they don't have blooms, I'm like, you know, you'll have blooms soon, and I like your leaves right now. You know, I'm always like, I'm that goofball that's always talking to her. Like the bamboo, I talk to my roses, I talk to my avocado trees, but I had never talked to that berry tree, and I had never talked to anything else in my yard. I just like talked to the stuff that I considered like pretty. Um, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I bet there's a lot of wisdom, that things that I don't consider so pretty, you know, like we've had a crazy amount of dandelions, and normally we don't get dandelions. I mean, we get weeds, but we don't get dandelions. And we've had a lot of dandelions, like just crazy, like flowers everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, what does this mean? Maybe I should sit with the dandelion and figure out what her medicine is. So yeah, that's been neat. Kind of, you know. And speaking of like flowers, I've been so attracted to flowers lately. I mean, not only like my beautiful roses, but just flowers in general. And I feel like flowers everywhere I go, like they're just sending messages. It's really interesting. And so I'm really connected to flowers. So since I usually don't buy 2 decks at once, but I did like a crazy person. And I got the Pythia Botanica, and I looked online to make sure that Pythia was how you pronounced it. So I was like, okay, Pythia. Pythia Britannica. Let's see. Sunrising says, I took a rose to church today randomly. Ooh. You know, maybe it's because the roses are, you know, blooming in the front, but I'm so about like rose everything. Like my rose water, like rose colored stuff, like flower colored stuff. Like I'm even, you should see my leggings. They're like all like flowers, you know? I'm like, I'm just like all like roses and flowers. I'm obsessed. And so I'm wanting to sit with that, like what is this new phase, like what could I do with flowers to help heal people, because I'm all about healing, and I'm always trying to heal people and finding like the best ways to heal. So right now I'm all in flower energy. I still work with crystals too, obviously, you know, I like my crystals, but now it's all flowers. And when I do, I start seeing flowers in people's chakras. Like sometimes I see animals too, but it's a mixtures of flowers and animals. And like that's what I work with a lot, is flowers and animals. um, Christina said dandelions have healing properties. Yes, I know they do, but I'm like, what what is your message for me in my yard? Like maybe they're whatever they're best at healing. Maybe that's something I need in my life. So that's something I have to sit with today, after our obviously our thing up in Oceanside. Sunrising said roses do have a message. Yes, and they're so gentle. My red rose though is always like boom. Like they don't make that bush doesn't make a lot of red roses. It's like a few a year and that's it. Whereas my white rose bush is like white roses everywhere and then they bloom really fast and then they die. Whereas my red roses take a long time to bloom and then they stay bloomed for like a good long time and then they start to wilt, but gracefully. So it's like each type of bush that I have has like a different message, and so I really revere my red roses because although it takes longer for them to bloom, um, they seem so much wiser. I'm like, ooh, whereas my other ones are like, boo, white rose, boo, white rose. um, New Agent Tech said she was just looking at this oracle today and she might get it. I love it. I have one of the cards is on my altar right now. Sherry Bug said, I love dandelions. I try to leave large patches of them unmowed for the bees when they are blooming. Um, we do have a lot of bees. And that berry tree is humming with bees, like in the springtime when it has the white flowers instead of the berries. It's just with bees. Sunrising said, roses remind me of that Hans Andersen story of the Snow Queen. They are a symbol of innocent love. Ooh, that's pretty. New Age and Chick flowers and crystals go so well together. Yes, they do. Um, Sunrising said, do you feel any in mine? I know it's probably in person, but had to try. I could probably, let's see how many people we have in here. 5. Maybe instead of, and this is just an idea, instead of, usually I pull a card at the end for everyone since there isn't a lot of people in the chat today and I'm not going to be on for very long. Maybe I could just do like a run through, like letting you guys know what I see in your chakras. I think that might be fun because I'm pretty good at that. I shocked my friend yesterday when she was, I mean, I knew that she had some surgery on her female parts. Um, but I was like, obviously because I can see in color and in flowers, like inside of people. And so I told her, I was like, Charmaine, I was like, I'm seeing blue up here, like blue flowers, blue color. And I was like, and yellow in your calf on the same side that you had your surgery on. And she was like, stop. You didn't. And I was like, what? And she was like, I haven't told anybody, not even my fiance, about my shoulder. She goes, they're killing me. I feel like my bones are breaking. I'm like, am I getting arthritis? She goes, I hurt so bad right here. And she says, and I don't want to let my nephews know. She goes, my nephew's kind of a big boy. And she was like, and it hurts kind of like to put him on my shoulder. She goes, it's like, carrying my purse hurts. Like she goes, this hurts. And she goes, and my calf, oh my God, after my surgery, she was like, my calf is so painful. It hurts to walk. And I was like, well, that part is yellow. This part is blue. I said, so to me, this hurts more. Blue means worse than yellow. Like yellow I see is temporary. And I was like, I don't know why, that's just the feeling I get. And I was like, red is like emergency, like SOS. I was like, but blue is like a tick underneath red for me. Green is like old injury. It's not really a problem. And that's just kind of like how, and she was like, so what do I do? And I was like, I can try to send you some good vibes because she's also still a little weak from her surgery. So like I was like, okay, come here, let me hold your hands. So I'm like holding her hands and I'm trying to send her good juju, and she's like, ooh, I'm all tingly. And I was like, dude, that's what the people on my live chat say, because I always like do a healing at the end and people will say that they are like dizzy or tingly. And she was like, well, I at least have enough energy to get home, so that's good. So I promised her that tonight I'm going to set aside some time, and she doesn't have to physically be here, but I'm going to at least text her and let her know when I'm going to do a healing on her. But I'm going to be trying to do a healing for her. I don't think I can like absolutely 100% heal her. Yes, please, Sunrising, send her the good juju. And but I want to at least try to alleviate some of her pain. I'm gonna try, you know, I mean, could always try. So that's what I'm gonna try tonight. And for her fiance Dave, I was like, when I saw him in my mind, it was like flashing, like this poor man needs to rest. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Charmaine, is Dave okay? And she was like, well, you know, he just doesn't take time for himself. I was like, oh my God. I said, his eye and his ear on the same side of his eye. And I was like, his knees, but mostly his left knee. I was like, ooh, and lower back too. I was like, freaking his pelvic bones. I was like, and his wrists are cracking. And I was like, and wow, he's just like tired. And it was like, it was just like so much going on. She says, well, when he had his accident where he used to be a construction worker and a piece of rebar actually, I don't want to gross you guys, went through his eye. But I thought he just had a lazy eye. But well, he could still see out of it. You know, they were able to save his eye. But she says since then, and she hadn't told anybody, his ear, he's had tendonitis in his ear for the past 15 years. She goes, it's been ringing for 15 years. And the doctors say there's nothing they can do about it. And she says he just got used to the ringing. But she goes, it's a constant ring. And she says, and if that, at least that could be solved, she goes, he would be so grateful. And I was like, I got you. I'm gonna try. I was like, because I love these people. These people are like, this is like, she's like my sister, and you know, and so he would be like, I guess kind of like my sister's boyfriend. You know, I love Dave too. That's what I'm going to try to do tonight. So yeah, if you guys want to send good juju to them, send good juju to each other. Yeah, so instead of me pulling a card for you guys, and by the way, I'll show you guys these cards that I have, I will try to look into your chakras. So at least like maybe you guys can then take that, okay, what does that color and that animal that I'm seeing for you, what does that mean for you? Or the flower that I see. And then I want you guys to, because I'm very like about being proactive, and not just you know, taking a back seat. So if I see something, then try and take that information as however you want, and be like, okay, so what does this flower mean for me, and what does this animal mean for me? And then that way you guys can try to do your, yes, you guys got homework, New Age Lunatic. And then because I'm all about like self-healing too. I mean, yes, there are healers in the world. People are very talented at it. I mean, there are people way more talented. I'm just like a beginner. I'm like, I'm not that good yet. I can see what's going on with people, but I'm not at the point where I'm like doing miracles or anything. I wish I was, because I would love to heal the world. Like Michael Jackson, just heal the world, make it a better place. Like that would be totally me if I had that magical power. Like, and I pray for that every night too. I'm just like, please, 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 like goddess, universe. Like I want so badly to just heal people of their ailments, like physical, emotional, like mental. You don't know how badly, like that's the one thing, you know, money can't buy, and that's something that I want so bad, is to be able to heal people, because I don't, just deep down inside, that's like my mission. Sunrise said your energy is so sunny. Yes, I'm kind of goofball. Sunrising definitely would be so amazing, because I believe in your gift. I'm trying so hard to do good. I want to actually make a difference, you know. And I was like, it's great, you know, if people can kind of get a little dizzy, a little tingly. I was like, but I actually want to like physically heal somebody. That's like my mission. I want to so bad. Okay, I missed some comments. Let me go back here. Oh, Sunrising had said before, the thing you told me about the rose, you didn't know anything about my situation, and it was true to the last word about me being like an impatient kid. Oh my God! I love when all that stuff resonates with you guys, because I'm just like putting out messages and like I don't know how it's going to be received. So that's awesome sauce. Sunrising, you are so sweet. She said, I think it'll happen, just a feeling. Well, fingers and toes crossed, if I could cross my toes. Okay, So let me show these off. Oh, and then a quick story. And then you guys have homework. I'm going to look into your chakras, and then you guys have homework this week. And you thought you were just coming into a live chat, and you were just going to be like, psh, I'm just going to be listening to a live chat. Oh no. Oh no. Spiritual teacher, she going to be giving you a workout. She going to be giving you homework. I don't know why I'm shuffling these cards, because I'm actually just going to show them to you. Okay. So here we go. It's got that tea stain. You know, they all have the same tea stain. It has that matty gold finish that I want on my oracle deck when it is all done, which, by the way, I have Presley cut out. I have my boyfriend requested that his old cat Herb be in the oracle deck too, so I have Herb cut out. And then I have 8 Wallies cut out, and then I have to do, I think, like 20 more cutouts of Wally, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be working on the pictures that everybody sent me. If you guys still want to send me more pictures, like, that's totally fine. Send it to tara@kittenswaitsandtarot.com. Those pictures of your sacred sites, they don't have to be professional pictures. Actually, I prefer that they not be professional pictures. And I'm going to be putting them in that oracle deck, so it's going to be like us. Like, that oracle deck will be us, and that's, I think, going to be awesome. Okay, the cards anyway. So even though these are really simple and they lack tons of color, oops, I'm really, really feeling their messages. Oops, did I get a little sticky on here? Ooh. I took them outside, so they may have gotten some stuff on them. Pretty thick cardstock, by the way, too. So this is the Pythia Botanica. So yeah, I'll show you just a few more because there are a lot of cards here. Sun Rising says they're beautiful art. Yes, they are. And the elderberry flower keeps following me. That card keeps stalking me, and I'm like, I already made my elderberry syrup. I made my elderberry chocolates. Like, I'm all elderberry right now. Like, what else do you want from me? Why are you stalking me? Yes. So that is the Pythia Botanica, and then, like I said, I got a second flower deck, and I usually don't buy 2 decks at once. I'm not like, I'm just gonna buy a crap ton of decks today. You know, it's like, I space them out usually, but I felt really like I needed to. So I got the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle. Plus, this was pretty cheap on Amazon, so I was like, okay. It wants to guard you. Yes, elderberry is my flower homie right now. I took the cards out and I just keep them in. Ooh, I just realized I'm in this like lavender theme. But yes, here are the backs of those cards. Just a little, probably about the same size as the Pythia. Very glossy. Again, very minimal. So I'm like, what is with me in these minimal decks right now? Cherrybug said, Elder is such a powerful plant and fairies love them. Well, I love working with the Fae, by the way. I'm all about the Fae. I believe the Fae live in my garden. I'm always like, thank you for making my roses so pretty. Thank you for giving us avocados. Thank you for, you know, the tomatoes that we have in the backyard. I'm always like thanking them. I'm like, if you want to have some tomatoes, like go ahead and have some tomatoes. Like, if you want to eat those nasty berries off my nasty berry tree, like, sorry, grandmother berry tree. I'm like, you're more welcome to have those berries. Gotta make friends with flowers. Yes. And I know I don't have the prettiest yard in the world. I mean, I have some really pretty plants there, but I have like a lot of weeds, and I don't know. I don't know if it's like I'm a weirdo, but I've been like kind of like happy with my weeds. Like, I kind of feel like they are there for, well, okay, weeds grow regardless, but I kind of feel like they're trying to say something, because some of them are weird weeds that we don't usually get. And so my boyfriend's like, can't wait to get rid of them. And I'm like, I agree, you know, because, you know, I want to make my backyard look nice and my front yard. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like, oh, but they're plants. I don't know. Um, one for everybody here. Oh, that is so nice. I will take the first one. Yeah, so this Oracle deck's been awesome. And I believe they said this is, Ciolo Thompson is the same artist as the Line Strider Tarot, which I don't have. But then I was like kind of considering, but I'm not really wanting to buy much right now because I went on my shopping spree yesterday, and that I do that once every summer. I'm done. I'm like, I don't need that much right now. Okay. Story time, then chakra homework time. Okay. So I have my journal here where I keep all my weird dreams in here, like dreams that are really powerful, and I'm like, whoa, that's a little bit more than a dream. I need to write this down. Sunrising says, there you go. Don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's pretty. Yeah, I think it's just some pink flower. Sherry Bug said, did I miss a haul? I'm going to post my haul video on Monday. Ayami, what up? Oh my gosh. I was just liking some stuff that you posted on Instagram about the Roadrunner going up into your tree, trying to attack the little birdies, and you protected them. But I like Roadrunners too. Just keep them separated. Okay. I have to read, or at least refer to this, so that I can get all parts of the dream, because as you know, dreams fade and you start to forget stuff. So I will go to the beginning here. Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll just read it from here. So I had this dream on the 20th. It had Anthony Bourdain in it. Let me preface this by saying, oh wait, hold on. Ayami said it was scary, wanted to eat the babies, but he didn't. Beautiful bird. Well, I'm so glad you protected them. I watched one episode with Anthony Bourdain, but he really wasn't like my cup of tea, so it was like, it wasn't really a show that I watched, and this was like a long time ago when I was at a house that actually had cable. Like, we don't have cable at this house. Like, we watch movies on the television sometimes, like every other week, maybe on a Saturday. But most of the stuff I watch is like on YouTube. But my boyfriend loved Anthony Bourdain, and so he loved, because my boyfriend's a foodie, like he's Mr. Chef, like he's a chef in disguise. And so he would watch him like on YouTube. And I was like, whatever. And he liked to listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, and Anthony Bourdain was on his podcast. And I don't know, Anthony Bourdain was just a little too like crass for me, so I was like, whatever. And you know, my boyfriend loves all the Food Network stuff and like the like traveling food stuff. So okay, so I don't know much about Anthony Bourdain. I know that I've seen one show. I know that he travels and tastes food or cooks food or something. Like, I don't know that much. So to have a dream about him, a very detailed dream, was really weird. And I knew that he had passed away recently on June 8th. So I knew that, and I knew somebody had, or people had said it was a suicide. That's all I know about Anthony Bourdain. Like, I swear, like, he did a food thing and he passed away recently. I was like, okay. So here we go into the dream. So this dream I had, it was after I had already woken up. I like made my boyfriend's lunch for the day, and then he went off to work, and I went back to sleep because I was still a little sick. So this is when I went back to sleep. This is the dream that I had. Okay, this starts off kind of weird. I dreamt that after Brian left for work, so Brian left for work in my dream, these people that we don't like so much across the street parked in our driveway and in front of our driveway, like blocking our driveway. And I'm on the phone to Brian being like, they're in our driveway and blah, blah, blah. And so finally in my dream, I like got them to like get out of our driveway, and I'm laying in the driveway. So like nobody could like come into the driveway. So I'm like literally like trying to take a nap in our driveway to guard the front of our house so that nobody will park in front of it. and I'm yelling at Brian. I'm like, the bad things always happen when you're not here. And in my dream, he said, well, deal with it. Our next door neighbor in my dream was Gwen Stefani, and she was like getting our kid ready for a birthday party. I was like, hey, Gwen. um, and then this clunker of a car parks right in front of our house, and it starts oozing sewage, and the sewage starts going down our driveway into our garage. And I'm furious, and I'm like, hey, and I'm like all these expletives, like, oh, that, his car is this, you can't just dump sewage into my garage. And so this like hippie guy comes out, he's like, oh man, I'm sorry. And he was like, do you have some towels, we could clean this up? I was like, you want me to destroy the towels from my house to clean up like your mess in my garage? Like, so then I'm like perturbed. And so then so the guy goes into our house to look for things to clean up the mess. Hey, Veronica, I'm telling a crackhead story about my crackhead dream. um, and so the guy keeps leaving the doors open to the house, and I'm afraid Wally's gonna get out of the house. And so I'm like, oh my God, this guy is like stupid. I'm like, oh, what? You just, you're gonna let my cat out, and you like messed up my garage, is full of sewage. And so then, I don't know, I guess it got cleaned up, but I was in a room in my house that in my dream, it was my house, but in reality, it doesn't look like my house. It doesn't look like a room that we have. Like, this is a massive room in my dream, and it was all white. Like, the carpet was white, the ceiling walls were white, everything was white. And there was all these necklaces hanging off of hooks on a wall. And I'm on the phone talking to somebody, telling them about the whole like story about somebody dumping sewage in our garage. And then I start talking about my cousin Selena. She's passed away, by the way. She passed away when I was in college, at the same age that I am now. And I look over, and her rosary that's hanging off the wall is starting to sway in my dream. And I was like, and by the way, I don't have this rosary anymore. They gave me her rosary. This was like her first communion rosary. I don't know where it went. Like, it's lost. But in my dream, it's there, and I know it's hers. And it was like swinging. And so then I knew she was in the room in my dream, but I'm not scared, because I'm not scared of spirit. Why would I be scared of my cousin? So I'm like, Selena? And I was like, Selena, if it's you, swing that rosary harder. And that rosary was just like, whoo, whoo, whoo. And I was like, Selena, take it off the hook and drop it to the ground. And you could see it's like, in my dream, like she's trying really hard to get this like rosary off the hook, and finally it hops off and like hits the ground. And I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, Selena, I miss you so much, because she was like my favorite cousin, and she died obviously very young. And so I grab the rosary, and I'm like crying, and I know she's standing next to me, but I can't turn my head, and I can't look at her. Like, I'm trying to look at her. It's like my eyes wouldn't open though. And I'm like, so I knew she was just there. So then I put my hand out so I could at least feel her, and I can feel her foot, and she's barefoot, and I can feel her barefoot, and I can feel her leg, and I can feel her like pressure of her hands like on top of my head. And I was just like, oh, Selena, I missed you so much. And so then, all of a sudden, I'm on the street with Anthony Bourdain and a friend of his. Like, it was like whoosh, like now I'm with this guy and his friend. And his friend is this like kind of nasty guy smoking cigarettes, and he's like dressed really schlumpily. He's got a leather coat on. He looks really greasy, like, and he's really like, I don't know, like, I'm just getting bad vibes off this friend of his. And Anthony Bourdain is wearing a like burgundy dress shirt with the sleeves rolled up. And in my dream, he's like a giant, and I keep looking up, and I'm like, whoa, you're like really tall. And then okay, I think I can remember the rest up to here. Okay, so then we're talking, but I don't remember what we were talking about. And his friend goes into the middle of the street to smoke cigarettes. And I'm like, Anthony, I'm like, really? I'm like, your guy, your friend is not very smart. He's going to get hit by a car. And I was like, why would he just stand in the middle of the street and get, you know? And he was like, I know, I know. And he was like apologizing for this guy. And so he says, let's get him across the street. So me and Anthony Bourdain get this friend of his that's not too smart and kind of slimy, got him across the street. But all of a sudden I'm like really creeped out because we're like on the other side of the street is really seedy, it's dark. It's like there's like these really seedy like strip clubs and like drug dealers, and like it's so dark and creepy there. Like it's just like I feel like I'm gonna get robbed or something or killed, you know. Like I was like, I don't want to be here, I don't think we should be here. And Anthony Bourdain was like, okay, I understand. And he was like, so let's get my friend and we'll get back to the other side of the street. So I'm like, okay. I was like, I don't like it here. And so we grab his friend and we go back to the other side. And I look up at him and I was like, I have a feeling that you're actually not as gigantic as I'm seeing you. And he went, no, I'm a tall guy, but I'm not as tall as you're seeing me. That is correct. He says, I'm not a giant by any means, but I am a tall guy. He says, I'm just exaggerating it for you. And I was like, there's something. I was like, oh my God, you're dead. And he says, that's right. And I was like, oh wow, that's so weird. So I start telling him I was dreaming about my cousin, and I was like, and I knew that she was there. And I was like, so I said, you committed suicide, right? And he's like, I did. And then I was like, okay. So I'm trying to tell him the story of my cousin, because my cousin, I mean, she had a lot of like inner demons and issues. And she had tried, I think it was like almost 30 times to commit suicide. And when she finally did pass away, it was an accidental overdose. She even told me in my dream, she was like, I know everybody's going to say I commit suicide because I've always tried, but she's like, I swear to God, it was accidental this time. Like the one time and it was an accident. So that's what my cousin had told me in my dream. So I'm like, it's so weird because my cousin, who wasn't everybody thought commit suicide, you know, I said, did she bring you over? And he said yes. He goes, like saying that her spirit brought his spirit in to talk to me. And I was like, oh wow, that's so cool. And then let's see, oh, I said, I have a question, and it was just a feeling. I said, I'm not trying to like be mean or judgmental. I said, I just have a question. It's like asking somebody if they like the color pink. I was like, but were you gay? I was like, I'm not like asking to like be mean or to like point fingers like, ooh, that's bad, because obviously there's gay people in my family. I was like, and he's like, what? No. And he's like, why would you think that? And I was like, I I don't know. I don't even know why I'm asking in this dream. I was like, I just wanted to ask. He's like, no. He goes like, I was married with a kid, and you know, I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, I was just asking God, but he was like really defensive about it, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like offend you. I'm really sorry. And then he started talking about. He says, look up Victorian yoga, and I was like, huh? And so he starts trying to talk about Victorian yoga after I had asked them this question, and he said, it's gonna make sense. And I was like, can you explain Victorian yoga? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. And he was like, I'll talk to you about it later. And then he says, hey, listen, I gotta go. And then I woke up and I was like, okay. So I Googled Victorian yoga. Very first article at the top of Google was written by a guy whose last name was Gay. Like Gaye. I was like, oh my God. So I read this article, and it was some socialist article. It was like, you know, about like yoga and you know, being part of like how Victorians used to show off their wealth, and their being like of like some Victorians being of the upper class, so they would do certain things to show they were upper class, and how like yoga and cycling and people like walking around in yoga pants and stuff is kind of like the equivalent of like walking around saying that, you know, I have the time and the money to be able to do something like this. So I mean, that's what the article was about. I mean, it was whatever. It was kind of a weird article, but it was like I was seeing it as like Um, well, it made more sense when I saw another article that was right below it where it was like, interview with Anthony Bourdain. We ask him, do you do yoga? And then in the article he says, hell no. And so I put the two and two together. I was like, okay, so he didn't see himself, even though he was a wealthy person, not as a wealthy person. That he didn't see himself as the upper crust, and that he actually had a problem with that. So I had to actually put those two articles together to get his cryptic message in my dream. I was like, okay, so he didn't see himself as being of the upper crust, um, or of being of status, that he was like the average person, you know, just middle class. It's like how he saw himself. And so that's the cryptic message that I got from reading these two articles after waking up from my crackhead dream. So that was my crackhead dream with Anthony Bourdain. And since then, like you know how YouTube puts suggestions of videos to watch is all about like, oh, Anthony Bourdain. And I was like, I didn't even search Anthony Bourdain on YouTube. Like, why is all his stuff coming up? Maybe it's because he passed and they're trying to put it all in everybody's face. But I was like, I don't. I was like, so that's weird. And then I swear to God that yesterday and the day before, I felt like he's been following me. Like you just feel like there's a presence like right on you, and I know this energy because it's the energy that I felt in my dream, and I'm just like, why are you here? Like I didn't, I mean, no offense, I didn't watch your stuff. Like, I mean, you seem like a nice guy. I'm really sorry about your death. I don't know. Like, I was like, I'm not a famous person, so it's not like I can go tell everybody about this. Like, I was like, I don't know what you want from me because I don't know you that well, and I don't really know that much about you. I guess I can Google or IMBD stuff, but I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. I can't help you, sir. I'm like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm like, you're talking to the wrong medium. Go talk to the Long Island medium. She's famous. She could probably do something. um, New Age Genetics says, that is crazy, especially as you didn't know Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, I'm like not into his stuff. I mean, he sounds like a nice guy though. Sherry Bug said, what can he be trying to tell you? I, I don't know. I was trying to see if like some of that stuff in my dream was symbolic, which by the way, when I was trying to tell him about my cousin and her suicide attempts and the whole thing with the rosary, I felt like I was choking, and I couldn't get the words out. And I'm trying to talk to him, and he was like, shh. He's like, it's okay. I understand you. And I was like, oh, okay. And the moment I stopped trying to tell the story, I could breathe again. So I did do a little research. I thought Anthony Bourdain had overdosed because everybody kept saying that he was like he had a former drug problem. So I just assumed that's how he passed. Till I did a little Google search and it said he had hung himself, and I was like, oh. I was like, so I think that's why I was choking in my dream, as he was trying to let me know how he had passed. And I was like, okay, so I think a lot of that was symbolic. So I don't know the meaning of the burgundy shirt, but I feel like that color has meaning. Maybe it means death. Maybe it means, I don't know. I don't know. I'll look into that. There is something about that friend, though. I feel like that friend was symbolic of something about him, where I was really repulsed by that friend. I think he was trying to show me that as being a part of himself that maybe he wasn't too happy with, like that being a part of his personality, or just part of him. And when we went to that seedy side of the street, that creepy side of the street with like all the, where I felt really uncomfortable and I felt like I was going to get robbed or jumped, or it felt like there was like drug dealers and stuff. I think that was how he felt inside. Like it was dark and it was seedy. And I'm just guessing. I don't know Anthony Bourdain. I don't know what, I watched one show. Like I don't know what his problems were. I'm just saying I had this crazy dream. This is how I'm trying to interpret the dream. That's all. So little just disclaimer there. But I have a feeling that that's how he felt inside, and that friend was a piece of him. I don't again know the burgundy shirt. Yeah, the thing with the choking, letting me know how he passed, and then telling me Victorian yoga, which I always Google this stuff. It's just him seeing himself as middle class, not as part of the not a part of the upper class. So, yeah, just interesting messages, and I'm not really sure like what I was supposed to do with those messages. So that's why I figured, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I'm not famous by any means, but like maybe maybe I'm supposed to talk about it. Like I don't know. So New Genetic said, I don't know who he is. I'm so behind. If it happened after 1998, the chance is I won't know half of these famous people. Yeah, I don't know when his show started, but I know he still had a show. Ayami said, maybe he just wants someone to know his side of things and who he was, because media tends to show him as upper class. Maybe. So maybe he was just like, whoever's listening, hey, you seem to be open and listening. Like, I just need to talk to somebody. Hey, maybe that's how it is. And the person doesn't have to be special, I guess, who you're talking to. It's just like sometimes you really need to talk to somebody. I can remember like telling my like I was going through some like stuff in college, and I remember like laying it out all on this nice man who was talking to me, and I didn't know him at all. So maybe that's it. Like that doesn't change when your spirit. My ear is ringing. His spirit is back in this room. Okay, yeah. His spirit's in the room again. He's following me. Ooh. So yeah, anyway. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm telling people on YouTube, like I'm trying my best. New Age Genetics, and maybe he was just on the frequency. Maybe it's like picking up the phone call, like right now. We're on the same frequency. It's like getting the lines crossed. Well, I don't know. Well, you guys should all be old enough, like where we all remember party lines. You guys remember the party lines? How sometimes you'd pick up the phone and you'd hear other people's conversations? I think that happens with spirits sometimes. So maybe like our party lines are crossed right now. Christina said, I never remember my dreams. I wonder how you are connected to this man. Iami said, yes. It could just be frequency again. Maybe that's my connection and that's all, because otherwise I don't think I have a connection at all. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I leave that up to you guys. Speculate, because I don't know. But I do know his spirit is here because my ear is ringing off the hook right here. Like a phone. Oh my god. Yes, my ear is ringing off the hook. That's awesome. And now it stopped. Okie dokie. Okay, well, Mr. Bourdain, I need to help my friends on YouTube here. So I was going to look into your guys' chakras, and then you guys have the homework to take or not take anything that I say. So I'm going to get some water. Christina said, I think if you are open, all kinds of messages can come through. Dude, I'm always like do 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 do. I am open to so many messages all the time, and they're obviously weird messages sometimes. Amy said the connection could be that you understand a situation more because of what your cousin went through. I was kind of thinking that, which I thought it was interesting that my cousin brought him over. Which, by the way, I haven't physically seen my cousin in a dream since that last time I saw her in a dream, when she was like, this is how I passed. It was just an accident. Veronica said, this is fascinating to me. And in that last dream I had with my cousin back when I was in college, so this was like 2002 maybe. I was almost done with college. And my cousin told me I'd never be able to see her again. She says, I can't visit you like this anymore. So it's odd that this has like literally been the second time since then. So it's been a long time, you know, since I've had my cousin in my dream. But I couldn't see her. I couldn't turn my head. I couldn't look at her, but I could feel her. I could feel her foot. I could feel her leg. And I knew there was a person next to me. I just like literally couldn't see her. So I don't know, like her bringing over Anthony Bourdain's spirit, you know, because obviously she would have that connection. She's been in most of her life in a really dark place. She suffered from auditoria, auditory schizophrenia. She had agoraphobia. She had a lot of issues, but she was the kindest, sweetest person. She was always very humble, always like doing things for others. So it's very interesting that if she did indeed bring his spirit over, that maybe that was their connection. Like they both share that something really dark had to be going on within them, to want to take their life. Which if anybody is ever feeling that, like definitely call one of those hotlines. Seek help. We oftentimes want to try to do things ourselves and be like, I'll do it myself. I don't want to bother other people. But, we're not all psychologists, and I'm pretty sure a psychiatrist and a psychologist and counselors go seek counseling when they need help. So like if any of you are ever having any deep, dark issues, I hope that you guys like seek help. I myself have gotten counseling. I've been in some pretty dark places. When I have felt like I was slipping into a place that I think my cousin was in, that's when I was like, no, this is bad. And I went and I got help, and I took several years to bring me back up to who I am now, so I'm all about counseling. I'm all about, mental health services. Like, you guys utilize that. New Age Lunatic said, yes, pick up the phone and call someone, tell someone on Facebook, just tell someone, yes. Anyone, like, reach out. And trust me, it's not a bother. I used to think that. I used to be like, I don't want to bother people, like I'm no one. I used to say some really nasty stuff to myself. Like, I used to see myself as really small, and like I didn't mean anything to anyone, so it wouldn't matter. But something inside was like, just call. And so like I called, and I'm so glad I did. And I'm so glad that I got all the counseling I did, and I met all the wonderful people that helped me see value in myself, instead of using everything around me to see value in myself. It's like I had to love and see value in myself, so that I could see myself as being worthy of being here. So that was quite a journey, people, and I am a big advocate for mental health services. So yes, I have to put my public service announcement out because I'm all about that. Let's see. Miss Boho, can you give us an update on the Rosita girl birthday party? Wow, your gifts are amazing. I will give you a quick update. My friend found her son at age 17 hanging from the garage roof. It was horrific. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. So Miss Boho, to answer your question, they have postponed the party due to some more occurrences happening at the house, but they promise within the next week or two to have the birthday party, and it will be a very belated birthday party for their own daughter who hasn't had a chance to have a birthday party. So because it's literally supposed to be their daughter's birthday party and a birthday party for that spirit. So I'm like, you guys gotta get on this, like, serious. And they're like, well, we want it to be perfect. I'm like, I don't care, like, it doesn't need to be perfect, just have a party, like, just put on some music, buy a cake, like, boom, party. So yeah, so that's the update on that. Unfortunately, I don't have any like other news on that. I wish I did. And I'm like, come on, like, have the party. Like, I need to know like how this is gonna play out. So yeah, yeah, New Age Lunatic. Yeah, there are some people that whew, yeah, and there has been one well, my cousin's wasn't a suicide. Like, she's promised me. Even though, I mean, she had tried before. But my dad's sister had committed suicide when she was 17. Um, so, you know, that was, you know, it's always in the family's mind. So like when I was growing up, the family was always watching me very carefully because they thought that I would turn out like my dad's sister, or I would turn out like my cousin. Like, you know, we're so afraid, you know. They were always like watching me like a hawk, making sure that I know that I'm loved, like, you know. So, you know, I have a very supportive family, which you know, I'm grateful. There are a few people, well, a lot of those people now, they've passed away, but yeah, those people were very loving, very supportive, and like, oh, you know. So yeah, my dad's sister had passed away on Thanksgiving, by her own hand. And so my dad never allowed guns in the house when I was growing up. Um, and he would never tell me why. He would just say, no guns. Like, you're not allowed to touch a gun. You're not allowed to do anything with a gun, you know. You know, and so obviously you can figure out like what happened with her. And she was found by my uncle, my uncle, that was his sister. And so he was the one to find her. And then my grandmother, my nana, as they retell the story to me, because this was 1977, you know, when this happened. And then she just like, she had a lot of inner issues. She took a lot of drugs to deal with her demons. And so, yeah, so there's that suicide. My cousin, you know, obviously suffered from a lot of mental illness. But when she came to me in my dream, I think it was a beautiful dream. So maybe I'll share that with you. And I said I wasn't going to be on long today. Oh my God. Da, 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 da. Looking back the past week and the things he did, he was saying goodbye, like favorite dinner. He took a solo drive with his dad. He left a note and played music on his iPod. He showed no signs of depression at all. Yeah, it's interesting, you know, because you know, oftentimes people always say, you know, and suicide, you know, because I try to tell my students, because we have had, you know, every like couple of years there'll be a student that commits suicide. You know, we have a huge high school. There's like almost 2,200 kids, you know, at this high school. So I'm always trying to let them know that, you know, suicide is not the answer. You know, it may be you think, well, then I could just make it all go away. And I try to tell my students, like, talk to somebody. You know, I said, talk to me. Talk to counselors, talk to your coaches, talk to a best friend. I said, if you want to write a letter and leave it on my desk and you want to talk to me in private, like I don't mind. Like I said, if you guys just want to talk about like dumb stuff, like I'm here like for you guys. Like, and I'm always stressing suicide is not the answer. I was like, because it hurts a lot of people in the process, and I'm not saying, you know, that you're doing that. People would do that intentionally. People do it for the very opposite reasons. You know, people do it because they don't want to hurt people. They feel like they're hurting people somehow. And I said, you know, but I said, believe it or not, I said, you know, you might go into such a dark space you don't think people care. I said, people care. Like, your parents care. I was like, your friends, you know, your classmates, your teachers. I said, we care, you know. So I was like, please, please, please. And I tell them, I said, if you see a friend who is starting to do things like making special moments, like I want to do this, saying things like, I want to see this one last time, or I want to do this one last time, or I just want to do this special thing, you know. I said, and it seems, I said, you get your little spidey tingly sense like something's off with your friend. I said, tell somebody. Like I said, you're not ratting on your friend, you're not being like not a good friend, no, you're being a good friend by telling somebody. So this, I am always on teenagers about this, because I know they're at such a stage of getting, like, figuring out who they are, finding their place in society, their place amongst their friends. That is such a difficult time to be a teenager, you know. So yeah, I was like, I don't care, you guys think I'm your crazy teacher, but I said, I just want you guys to yes, as nerdy as it sounds, I was like, I want you kids to live long and prosper, okay? I was like, I want to see you guys grow up and have families, and I want to read about you guys in the news doing awesome things, or I don't know. I was like, I said, but yeah, just so, wow, whew. Maybe Anthony Bourdain's thing was public service announcement about suicide, so maybe that was the thing. Okay, let me go back and look. Bum, bum. Christina said, oh, they were talking to Christina. My friend takes great comfort in that he's not suffering and battling with his demons anymore. Well, yeah, and that's something that my dad and his brothers and sisters were like, at least their sister wasn't. They're like, she's not suffering anymore, because they said she was really suffering, but at that time, they said it was like a really rough time in their family. So hold on, let me plug my phone in real quick. I come prepared. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That fact helped me during a time when I felt too tired to go on. New Age in the Text is about kids, yeah, exams, school, the future appears. Like, there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders. Miss Boho, I really believe that there is a lot to say about self-love. Have you all heard of the Needy podcast with Mara Galtskell? It's awesome. I love ourselves and love others. Secret sauce. Yes. um, I have not heard of it, and I will definitely check it out. So it was Mara Galtskell. Galtskell. Okay, Mara Galtskell. I will definitely look into that. And Green Alice has entered on a screen freeze. Hello, everyone. All right. Hello. Okay. Water. And so for everybody who's in here now, I will not pull a card at the end like I normally do. I'm doing something different because was it Sun Rising had given me a different idea for the ending of my live chat here. Um, um, give your name to New Age Lunatic. New Age Lunatic, I hope you're okay with this. Give your name to New Age Lunatic if you would not mind me looking into your chakras and just telling you what animal or flower or color I see in each of those chakras. And then I want you guys to do the homework and go back and see what that means for you. Because I want you guys to build your intuition, learn about, healing energy like for yourself, so that it's more of an empowering experience. And then at the very end, I'll do my general, like, healing. Okay, so New Age Lunatic said names, please. Okay, so she is collecting the names now. I'm getting some water. I'm going to ground myself a little bit. I'm probably going to drink a little bit of my elderberry syrup. I think that might help. Oh, Ella's here. What's up? She said, I arrived late, but I heard about that crazy dream and I'd love to look into my chakras. Okay. Groot. Awesome. So water's how I calm myself down. So, because I was getting hit with some crazy energy, I'm like, okay, I'm going to calm down so I can focus on each of you guys. And take a little bit of my elderberry syrup. I think it will just help a little bit. Okay. Okie dokie. Ooh, I think I'm going to use my dragon this time. Okay, first up we have Christina. Okay. Okay, by the way, if I also see like an area of concern, like a problem area, I'll probably just let you know. I mean, not like something bad, like I like, ow, I have shoulder pain. Like, I'll probably let you know that I see shoulder pain. Okay, so Christina, I'm trying to call your energy into the room. Um, okay, so Christina, before I actually look into your chakras, I was looking at just your body first. Um, and I don't know what you look like, so I was looking at your energy. Um, my shoulder was actually twitching, so I don't know if you're having an issue in the shoulder, but I also saw the side of the neck. Um, there being some color there, so I don't know if you're just having some issues. Okay, now I'm looking at your chakras. Okay, crown chakra for you, I'm seeing like a white flower. I don't think it's a rose, but it's just a white flower, and there's like a golden snake like spiraling up out of it. Like, not like creepy snake, like kind of a cool snake, but coming up out of that flower for your crown. Third eye is oh, I love elephants. There's a little elephant for the third eye. I love elephant energy, by the way. Throat. Throat looks like a beautiful blue like butterfly brooch or pin. Heart. I'm seeing pink ballet slippers for heart. Solar plexus. Ooh, make me sweat. Solar plexus looks like a lake, like kind of like the water lapping up on the shore, you know, but there isn't really that much movement in the water. Sacral. Very like summer oranges, like orangey tone, like summer, like sunset, and kids playing on a merry-go-round. Okay, root. I just see you putting on red lipstick, like getting ready for the day, like sexy. Okay. Yeah. So Christina, that was yours. So I don't know, you take all that symbolism. Hopefully you wrote that down and see what that means, like how you feel about those certain symbols. Like, what does that mean for you? Do you feel like that's an area you should look into? And, you know, what is that bringing up for you? And, you know, to kind of focus on your own healing. Like, oh, well, then maybe this is an area I want to work on. Like, I want to work on my solar plexus, or I want to work on my heart. Okay. Woo. That is intense. I thought it would be like pulling cards, but it's way more intense. Okay, Veronica. Christina, you are very welcome. Okay. Veronica, your energy is a little bit more intense. Like, even more than Christina. And I think somebody had mentioned that, you know, since well, I don't see you guys, but like we're here on the live chat, like some of us on a regular basis, that I think I just like connect with your energies a little bit better. Oh no, I'm okay to continue. That's fine. I'm just saying it's like, woo, it's like intense. Like there's no heart issues or anything. I'm just like, I'm sweating and I'm just like not trying to be gross. I'm like, whoo, sweaty. Okay, so Veronica. So Veronica, like right away for your crown chakra was like a big moth. Like a big, beautiful moth, just like boom. It almost took up like your whole head. It was like this big, beautiful moth for your crown chakra, which is almost like overlapping with your third eye. Actually, no, it's overlapping with your third eye. Third eye is lapis lazuli, like ancient Egyptian, like blue, like eyeshadow, like Egyptian blue eyeshadow, lapis lazuli. Throat, I felt like I just got stabbed in the throat by an arrow. Like somebody shot a bow and arrow and it just like went right through my throat and I felt like I was stopping myself from talking. Okay, heart. For heart, I'm seeing like gears and a conveyor belt of like little hearts coming out, like the machine, like just pumping out little hearts. Solar plexus. I'm seeing I think tulips come in yellow. I think it's a yellow tulip, but it's like yellow tulips. And I'm hearing the song um, so we have to say goodbye for the summer. Darling, I wanted to stay. I give you all my love every day. But yeah, I'm hearing music again. Um, Sacral. Sacral chakra, I see you stepping on the gas in a car, just like, just like aggression, just stepping on the gas. Root. An owl perched over red waters. Woo! Okay. So, Veronica, again, I hope you wrote that down. um, it'd be so interesting to see how you guys work with this stuff. Like, what did it mean for you? Like, how do you interpret those symbols? Um, yes, next week, like, let me know. Let me know how your homework went. You're very welcome. Okay. And she said, I did. Oh, good. Okay, Ayami. I'm going to switch up and I'm going to do this. Veronica said, that's a lot of information. It is. I'm enjoying it though. I'm loving doing this. I mean, it's a lot more actually now. It's a lot more intense. Um, but no, I'm liking and I'm thinking this is like really good for me too. Like it's like, practicing my energy and how I look into people. Um, okay. Oh, and then Veronica, quick body scan real quick, but let me just for like ailments, bruises, bumps, like let's see. Veronica, the only thing I was seeing was like a knee, like it being kind of difficult to kneel down on the ground. Sherry Bug said spiritual workout. Tell me about it. You definitely sweat during a spiritual workout. Sweating is not just for the gym. um, yeah, but like kneeling on the ground. excuse me, like getting back up again, like I was feeling like pain in the knee. Okay, I am E. Okay, so and Tara got all pretty. We made her sweat. Veronica says, I'm sore and my leg keeps giving out today. Spot on. um, take care of your joints, man. Lady, person. I call everybody man. Okay. I am Eam. Body scan real quick. Um, I don't know, Miami. Miami. Everything seems okay. The only thing I felt like I wanted to cough, like a little bit in the lungs, just like a, like I want to cough. Um, but otherwise, I think everything was pretty good. Um, okay, now I'm gonna look into your chakras. Ayami, in your crown chakra, I see that dog dragon thing from the Never Ending Story. What's that dragon's name again? Well, you guys probably figure it out. Um, third eye. As a ram coming out of an indigo flower. Throat. Throat, there's a little bit of restriction. I almost felt like a pressing sensation on my throat. Heart. Birds. Birds and butterflies, like flying out of your heart. Green heart. Solar plexus. Tiger eye. Sacral. I was hearing Scooby Doo playing for your sacral chakra. I don't know. Root. A child playing on a tire swing hanging off a tree. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, Ayami, take notes. Probably should have told you that at the beginning. um, okay, so yes, next week when I meet up with you guys again, definitely tell me like how did you work with it? What? Take notes. Let me know what your notes said like at the end of this week or this week that's coming up. Like I am very curious, and then we'll have a little share ski next week. Okay. Sherry bug. Sherry. Okay. Okay. Ooh, my leg. Okay, so Sherry bug, I'm gonna do a quick scan. Veronica, your energy keeps trying to jump back in. So I'm gonna push Veronica off to the side and Sherry bug come forward. Um, Sherry Bug, the only thing I was seeing was something about the ears connecting to the head. It was like, I don't know. That was interesting because it wasn't a color or anything. It was just showing like ears, like a gold line connecting to the head. So I don't know, because I didn't really see anything going on with you physically. So that was a different, like that was different. I don't know what that means. Okay, looking into your chakras. One white feather above the head, so in the crown. Going to your third eye. Oh, in the third eye, it looks like a Japanese painting. You know, the samurai on ships and like the blue ocean, like raging waters. Throat. Just like roses that have been dyed blue, I guess. Just like a bed of roses, just like frolicking in the roses, laying in the roses, smiling. Heart. I saw a little hammer, like hammering something, and it was like putting a lock on your heart. Like protecting it, like it's in a cage. Solar plexus. I see like a hoop that's on fire. You know, like somebody wanting to get this lion to jump through the hoop, but the lion is like roaring at this person, like, I don't want to go through this hoop. Sacral. In the sacral, I just feel really sad. Like tears. Root. A little kid with a caterpillar on his finger, like, oh, this tickles, like a little, like those fuzzy caterpillars. And, all right, so that was for Sherry. So, yeah, okay, yes, let me know next week how all that worked out for you. Alrighty. Let me get one of my sprays real quick. Just clear the area because, okay, so Ella too. Okay, I just, like Sherry Bug, you had a spirit that was here with you. I'm just gonna do a little clear ski. Because some of you guys are bringing in some spirits too. Sherry Bug said, wow, thank you so much. You're welcome. Okay, so Ella. Ella, I'm just gonna do a little scan. Sherry Bug said, really, yes, there was like, I can't even tell if it was male or female. It was just like next to me, like really curious about what I was saying about you. So I knew it was connected to you, but I don't know who he or she was. Okay. Ella, the only thing I'm seeing physically is with the eyes. Okay, so now I'm gonna look in to your chakras. starting with the crown. Okay, on this side, my hearing is going in and out, which means to me you have a lot of like angelic being energy in the crown chakra. It's like a white lotus outlined in a beautiful blue, like the petals are. That's actually really pretty. Third eye. Third eye is kind of giving me goosebumps a little bit. It looks like a vortex. Like it's dark. I mean, there's a lot like going in and out. Like it's just like a vortex. Throat. Shark. Heart. I'm seeing like the saloon doors like going back and forth, and then you know like the cowboys going out for like a gunfight or something, like bursting out the saloon doors. That's really interesting. I haven't really seen that in somebody's heart chakra. That's kind of cool. Solar plexus. I see a Native American woman sitting with like what looks like a straw or something, and she's like making something. I think it's a doll. And sacral. Okay, for some reason I'm seeing like the movie Snow White. But this time when the queen that's disguised as this old woman comes around with the apple, Snow White refuses it and tells her like Snow White just told the old woman to F off. Oh my god. um okay, root. I hear like sneakers, like running shoes, like sneakers, like along a basketball court, that sound. Okay. Ella was laughing. Okay. I really like that. What was that? Was that your sacral? Yeah, your sacral chakra is awesome. Fuck off, old woman, with your poisonous apple. Oh my gosh. You're very welcome. That was hilarious. Woo. Okay, more water. And yay! No body scan, please. Paranoid enough. No worries. Okay, so New Age Lunatic. And then we'll do our ending healing. You guys have an awesome Saturday. And this has been, I said it was going to be short. It's like super long. It's live chat. Okay, New Age Lunatic. Okay, New Age Lunatic, I'm going to body scan you, but I won't tell you. So that when I send healing energy, that's where I'm sending it. But I just won't tell you. Is that okay? So I don't make you paranoid. So I look, but I'll just send love. Look, but don't tell. Okay. Just making sure my battery's still doing good. It's doing good. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go into your chakras now. Like I said, I'm not telling, but I'm going into your chakras now. Okay, so I'm going to crown. You know the Coca-Cola polar bear? It's ice skating in your crown. Interesting. I love like the symbolism is just awesome because I know literally there's not a polar bear ice skating in your crown, but I mean it's cool. Okay, third eye. Okay, so this is weird. Okay, I've told you guys how I see myself in spirit form, you know, with like being all white and the white hair and I that I have a blue stone here. Um, so New Age Lunatic, when I saw your third eye, it looks like my third eye. Like it was like for an instant we were like twins. Um, so that was really interesting. It was like staring back at myself. I was like, whoa, okay. Um, okay, interesting. So yeah, is that like it's not it's like a crystal, but it's got blue light like coming out of it. It's like pretty. It's pretty. It's really pretty. Okay, throat. Throat has smoke coming out of it. Heart. Heart is cute. It's a blue heart outlined in a rainbow, and it has like a unicorn defending it. Like it's the cutest heart I've ever seen. I want a heart like that. It's so cute. Okay, solar plexus. Okay, so I saw gold bars being stacked up and then melted to form one solid gold wall. That's interesting. Okay, sacral. Okay, also with the apples, apple tree, but I can hear birds, a lot of birds, and it's like a cool breeze. Um, Beautiful apples, and the apple blossoms are also on the tree. So it's apples and apple blossoms. Okay, root. I hear everything and the kitchen sink, and it's like the kitchen sink is just like piled high full of stuff. Okay, all right. So that was different. I hope you guys enjoyed me kind of looking into your chakras, and I'm grateful that you guys allowed me to do that. Um, she always knew she had a unicorn in her heart. Sherry Bug said that's so interesting. So yeah, your homework this week is to, you're very welcome, to take this information, take it or leave it, like, you know, this is your info, so like you don't have to take all of it if you don't want to. Um, Put it into your own words, like translate these images into how they make you feel. What do they mean to you instead of what do they mean to me? Because I have my own symbolism, but how I was asking was put this in terms that they would understand. So not me understand, but you understand. So you guys are very welcome. But I'm really about empowering people. You guys can like work on yourselves, like trying to send healing energy to yourselves, like looking into areas yourselves instead of always looking like outwards. Oh, New Age Lunatic said her back is burning up. I'm sorry. I was really looking through you. um, but you know, I mean, it's always good to go to people who are experts in their field, like, you know, doctors, healers, readers, personal trainers, and get that help. But I also think that it works in conjunction with us helping ourselves. Sunrising said, did she miss her card? I wasn't pulling cards. I was doing looking into the chakras instead of pulling a card today. So yeah, and then that way, you guys could start being like, okay, so then you guys can start working with symbolism and things like that. Sunrising said, and Ara, my dad came and wanted, um, wait, and wanted, oh, yours too, for your chakras. Sure. I'm not really looking at the R's, but I am looking at the chakras. So we'll do sun risings, and then we'll send our healing, and then you guys have your Saturday. And I'm grateful for the people that have been here for as long as you've been here. Has this been my longest chat? 136 minutes. Good golly. Okay. Sun rising, water, then chakras. So sun rising, write down all the symbols, everything you hear. We said an hour. I know, right? Like, and my boyfriend isn't home yet, so it's not like we're late. So I don't think we're late. Thank you so much. My dad wanted me to reconcile him, and my mom did it and came back. Oh. Okay, got a pen ready. It does go really fast, and here I am just like chatting your guys' ears off. So sorry. So yeah, so write the stuff down, sun rising, and then this week, use this whole week till next live chat next week, next Saturday. Start thinking about, what does this symbol mean for me? What did that mean for me? Because I'm asking for the universe, wherever I get source energy, where I get my info, to put this in terms that you understand instead of me. So if I say, like, I don't know, there's like a purple bird or something like that, what does that mean for you in terms of healing? Like, is that an area of concern or an area where you're like, oh, well, then I think that chakra is like good, and then look into the chakras, like what does the crown chakra mean? If you're not familiar with the chakras, what does heart chakra mean? What does solar plexus chakra mean? Then that might be the area of your life you want to look into, not just an area like in your body. So yeah. Okay, so Veronica said, will do. Thank you. You are very welcome. Okay, so sun rising. And I have my Chrysicola. She's got a purple pen ready. Yes. Okay. Sun rising, I'm going to do a quick little body scan, just like your physical body of, like, I don't know if you got any like soreness anywhere. If not, there's probably nothing going on, but let's see. Sun rising, I was only seeing yellow in the stomach area, so I don't know if you're having just a little bit of discomfort there, but it doesn't seem like it's that big an issue because it's yellow. So yellow is like, not that big a deal. Okay, so now I'm going to look into your chakras. I'm going to look at your crown first. Okay, crown has a phoenix. Usually I would see that in a root or a sacral, but you have a phoenix in your crown rising, just whoo, coming out. Third eye. Third eye is like a little Japanese dish. It's kind of curved, it's square, but like the ends are curved up, and it has the chopsticks laying on top of it. Throat. A girl screaming to the top of her lungs. Heart. Heart, I'm actually feeling restriction in my chest. Okay, solar plexus. gosh, you have a cute sloth. I love sloths. I just bought my boyfriend a sloth mug. There is the cutest sloth in your solar plexus. It's like, um, okay, sacral. Sacral has like a Native American totem pole, but more reddish. And then root. Root is I can see it. It's what's the name of that musical? You know, it's like it's always got the picture of the girl, the little girl with the hair blowing in the wind and like the tattered like French flag. It's French. Why am I dumb right now? Like I can't even form the words. Like it's really famous. As somebody who's in music, this should be just blah blah blah. Somebody help me out. You know, it's like the Les Mis. Thank you. Why can't I get those words out? Like that's so yes, in the root chakra, I saw Les Mis. Just like that's awesome. Okay, so you guys take all that info. I'm gonna send you off with a healing. Yes, Les Mis. You don't have to like be here for the healing. So if you want to pop off now, that's fine. Not gonna hurt my feelings. Or you could pop off but still be open to the healing, and that's fine. So stay or go. That's up to you guys. Sunrising said, "Thank you very much. You were correct. You're very welcome." And I just put a general healing out there. Definitely staying for the healing. Yes, Les Miserables. And it's just like be open to the healing, you know. And if you don't want to be open to the healing, just like you know, just be like, I don't want it. Just you can mentally say I don't want it, and that doesn't hurt my feelings. Some people prefer their healings in a certain way or from a certain person. And if you want this healing to go to a place, a person, or I don't know, a thing, then start putting it in the comments so that you put it out there, and then that way I feel like, you know, it's like, okay, I physically want it to go to this person, you know, so go to that person too. So if you want it to go to people, places, or things, put that in the comments so that it's out there, that energy is out there. And this is really quick. I only like spend like a couple of minutes doing this. Yeah, so you guys just put it out there, and then I'll do the healing. So, okay. Okay, so that was quite some dizzying, swirling energy. Woo! Um, and I asked all of your guides, ancestors, everybody to come and help me in it so that way it doesn't drain me every time. So though I'm dizzy, I'm not drained. So yeah, and I always it's awesome because I'll see like an infinite line of people praying in like so many different languages and religions, and like and people like an infinite number of people just like praying and praying, and it's like it's just this light going forward. And at first I did start crying a little bit. I was getting a little teary-eyed, and it felt like all this sorrow leaving in a blue color, and then all this like pink color like came out from everyone. It was like going towards you guys, and then I was seeing like the upside down triangle and the right side up triangle for like divine and grounding. um, and then there was a lot of like nature creatures, and a creature that at first I was like, whoa, is that like the devil? But I don't believe in the devil, but it was just like, with like the horns and the hooves, and he was like all red, and he started laughing, and he was like, not everybody who looks like the devil is the devil. And he was like, some of us just kind of look like this. And he says, what I'm in charge of is everybody's wild nature. He says, I'm in charge of the root chakra. So he says, allow me to heal their root chakras. And like my other guides were like, no, he's cool. Like he's just a nature spirit. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, he had like the hooves and the horns, but he's part of our wild nature. So he was part of the root. So he was like pushing out all that red to your guys' like root chakra. So I thought that was kind of cool. There was like these different entities that were around here, and then like all your like relatives were here, and that was like pretty cool. Let's see. Sun Rising said her stomach area started warming up when I put my hands up. New Age Lunatic saw turtles and a bald man, but just his profile. Interesting. Green Owl sending love to her bro. Yeah, so hopefully this like got to all the intended people, places, things, and to you guys. And thank you so much for staying on this ginormous live chat, which is probably going to take forever to finish like uploading. I know it's like live streaming, but then it needs to like finish its upload after. It's just going to take forever. But this has been a really good live chat. I'm eager to know how all of your notes, your homework comes back next Saturday, like what you guys did with that, what it meant to you guys. Yeah, and thank you for coming. I'm wishing you guys an awesome weekend. Look through the playback if you want to know how to make this elderberry syrup and rose water using your own roses if you got them. And thanks for coming. There was Sunrise and said big homework. Loads of thumbs up, peeps. All right, so thank you to you guys. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for allowing me to practice my healing energy, and to, I know it's very personal, like looking into you guys, like, so thank you for that. Yeah, and one more squishy time. Have a good weekend. Bye. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.